So you want to compete with colossal corporations, but don't have an army of engineers to build out, automate, and secure your production cluster? In a few simple steps with no code, Harpoon can help you leapfrog the competition. Let's walk through it together. The starting point to use Harpoon is standing up a Kubernetes cluster in the cloud. Just enter your cloud provider credentials in the Linked Accounts menu and then click the Start button. In a few minutes, your Kubernetes cluster will be fully running with security baked in by default. You'll know it's running when your node changes from yellow to blue. Adding any software is as simple as searching for it and dragging it onto the screen. It automatically attaches to a node in your cluster when you drop it and can be deployed with the click of a button. If you want to scale up the number of instances of a container, you can increase or decrease the number right on the container. Similarly, if you want to see the logs for a piece of software, you can just click the log button in the top left corner of the container. What happens if we need to make sure our data is backed up somewhere in case of an issue? Our Mongo container is an instance of a database called MongoDB. If the software stopped running, we'd lose all of our data. We can easily solve this problem by dragging out a volume element and attaching it to the Mongo container. It will ask us which directory we want to back up. In this case, Mongo stores all its data in the DataDB directory. Once we click Save, Harpoon will handle replicating the data in real time to our backup. By default, our cluster is locked down from anyone on the internet accessing it. If we want to open access to software running in our cluster, we drag out the lock element and attach it to our container. Just by entering the port we want opened and clicking to open the lock, Harpoon will handle the rest. When everything is ready to go, you can click the Open New Tab button on the container to access your software in the web browser. So far, we've only deployed software that other people have written. While useful, what if you want to deploy your own software? You can connect your GitHub account with only a couple of clicks and choose which repository to build and deploy in seconds with no code or complicated configurations. As long as your repository has a Docker file, Harpoon can build and deploy it. Now that we've deployed all this software, our cluster is starting to get a little overloaded. We can fix this by dragging out another available node and scaling up our cluster so it can handle the additional load. Deleting these nodes will scale the cluster back down incrementally if you no longer need the extra performance boost. You can also host multiple different projects on the same Harpoon account. For example, if you want to set up a development, staging, and production environment, we can easily create a new project by clicking the plus button on the top of the screen, and either creating a new project from scratch or copying over an existing project. I'm calling this project Staging, so I'm going to copy over my dev project to make sure it's ready for production. Take the first step in simplifying your DevOps workflow. Sign up for Harpoon and try it today for free.